After just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages. As time goes by, I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries will, like in the past, substantially replace the modern-day system of income tax, taking a great financial burden off the people that I love.
All right, so that was President Trump last night during the State of the Union talking about tariffs. Clearly, he is not letting this one go. My next guest is Arlene Dickinson, entrepreneur and member of the Prime Minister's Council on Canada-U.S. Relations. Good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning.
So what did you hear from Trump last night that may have tweaked your mind as to where these upcoming CUSMA trade negotiations go?
I mean, I think we didn't hear anything really new news last night, but what we did hear, the things that he said, a couple of things he said that I felt were important. One of them was when he was talking about energy and, the need for what he wants to do with the American energy system. And so you think about, he's talking about the fact that, Canada's being the largest energy supplier to the U.S. And now he's talking about making sure that that energy is coming from the U.S. And with the moves that he's made in Venezuela, this is something that I think we need to be certainly aware of and paying attention to. He clearly is trying to diversify away from the supply that we're providing to his own supply and his own management of it. So I think that's a concern. But on top of that, listen, the biggest news for us was the last week's Supreme Court ruling in terms of, what he's able to do and what he can do legally. He says that it's just a legal issue. He's going to deal with it, but that is something that's going to play into the CUSMA negotiations.
And play in a way that is to our benefit, to our advantage, disadvantage? How so?
Well, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the courts and how he's going to be able to deal with that, ruling. But I think it's just something that we, again, need to be cognizant of and aware that he's dealing with his own issues in the U.S. about what he can and can't do in those negotiations. But listen, Greer last night said he was very clear that any deal with Canada is going to involve tariffs. I think that that's the basics position that they're taking, and that's what we can expect, that's going to be what happens. And so it's how we manage that. The diversification of our trade, what you just heard Premier Moe say, is very important. I mean, we have to start thinking about how we can take this beyond our relationship with the U.S. into our trade relationship with the world. If we just continue to worry about what the U.S. is going to do, we are going to never be able to, develop our own relationship and develop our own economy. So I think we have to be thinking about that in a real way. I also thought last night, I felt when he brought the hockey team out, this is maybe interesting because I see you bringing the picture up right now on that. To me, that was very interesting because, some people might have seen that as just a celebration of the win for the hockey team. And I saw it as a bit of a metaphor. I saw it as a metaphor of, that this is a zero-sum game, that when America wins, somebody has to lose. And I think that means that we're going away from this trade, neighborly relationship where, we can negotiate together and things can be, win-win, to this rivalry. And I think that that's his position with every nation that he deals with, not just Canada, but it impacts us significantly. And I think we have to be aware of how he thinks about things like that.
Although he did, Arlene, when he mentioned Canada, he praised our team. I was a little surprised by that, but he went there. Last question for you. What leverage does Canada have in upcoming negotiations?
We have, we have so much that he needs. We have our minerals, we have our energy, we have our commodities and our food supply and our grains and our cereals. We have our resources in terms of all of our services and the offerings that we have there. There is a lot that we have that he needs. As much as he can say he doesn't need it, he does need it. Their homes, their manufacturing, their factories, nothing happens without Canadian energy right now. Nothing, their food supply, their potash that they need to grow their agriculture, nothing gets grown without us. So I think we have to stop feeling like we're on our heels and start using the tools that we have in front of us, which is the goods and services that we have to trade with, and start using them effectively and stop being afraid of what he's doing and start thinking about what we can do. We have to get more on the offense and less on the defense.
Arlene Dickinson is an entrepreneur and member of the Prime Minister's Council on Canada-U.S. Relations. Thanks so much.